Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of ATL Prime Sports. Todd Corder here in Atlanta, JJ on the other side of the ATL, Wayne in Memphis, Tennessee, our producer, and our special guest each and every week on ATL Prime Sports is Dave Cohen, the voice of the Georgia State Panthers. Before we get into our show, everybody subscribe and like to the podcast. You can catch us all on social media at ATL Prime Sports. You can get JJ at JJ Get You One, Wayne at RWY Jr., myself at Corder Todd, and Dave at Georgia State Voice. So I got that right this week. Did you notice that? So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. Dave, a successful week for Georgia State last week. They moved up to 3-4 overall. They're tied for first place in the East with a 2-1 record, obviously a four-way tie. One of those teams is Appalachian State, who beat Georgia State, so they would have the tiebreaker. But there's a lot of games left to be played, and now with a two-game winning streak over Louisiana Monroe and Texas State, how does Georgia State feel coming into this game? I mean, they've got to feel pretty good with the play of Darren Granger, who's has 7 touchdowns in the last 2 games. 4 through the air. No, 6 through the air and 1 through the ground. He had 5 the week before and 2 last week. This is a heck of a turnaround for Georgia State and its offense.
I've been at practice 3 days this week, and this team is feeling very confident right now. They've got an opportunity now heading down to Statesboro on Saturday to take on in-state rival Georgia Southern. They've got an opportunity to put together a 3-game winning streak, and, they're going to need some momentum for the remaining 2 games on this, 3-game road swing, because game number 2 on that 3-game set is Louisiana Lafayette in Cajun Town, and then we'll be at Coastal Carolina for the 3rd consecutive road game. And, those are 2 pretty good football teams. They're 2 of the 3 or 4 better teams in the Sun Belt Conference. But what Georgia State's been doing in these last 2 games and has really, pushed them forward is run the football. And right now, the rushing offense for Georgia State out of the 130 FBS programs is ranked 16th. Georgia State's averaging right around 222, 223 yards on the ground per ball game. And you mentioned Darren Granger, and Granger is our 2nd leading rusher behind Tucker Gregg and just in front of Jamaius Williams. So those 3 are carrying a bulk of the load with regards to the run game for Georgia State. And of course, Darren has taken the reins at quarterback ahead of Cordelius Brown after that change was made earlier in the season. And from this point on, they're going to stick with him, and it's his football team with regards to that position. And so far, so good. Like I said, and like you said, they put up 55 points 3 weeks ago on the road at Louisiana Monroe, had an off week, and then put 28 up on the board against Texas State. So got to keep running the football. Hopefully Darren can continue to improve with regards to points in the air. That number, obviously you'd like that to be a little bit higher, but we'll see how we do against Georgia Southern. Personally, I feel pretty good about it. It looked like it was a good week of practice. Georgia Southern had fired their coach earlier in the season. So, there's a little bit of disarray down there, maybe. But when you're playing a rival game, even though most of the Georgia Southern kids that I've seen in interviews this week, they still don't subscribe to the fact that the Georgia State-Georgia Southern game annually is a rivalry. I'm a little surprised by that because they still claim that Appalachian State is their main rival. And maybe that was the case when they were in the Southern Conference, as it was, when I was working on the radio crew up at Furman University in Greenville prior to Georgia State adding football in 2010. The Furman Georgia Southern game annually, whether it was in Greenville or Statesboro, that was a big rivalry game, which I could never understand because Georgia Southern, it's a public university, a larger university, and Furman, at the time, I'm not sure what the enrollment is now, but at the time it was somewhere between 22 and 2,500 students, a small private university in Greenville. But yet Georgia Southern was claiming that the Georgia Southern Furman game was a rivalry game. Maybe it was at one time. Maybe Appalachian State and Georgia Southern was at one time. Granted, they are still both in the Sun Belt now. They moved together. But listen, anybody who says Georgia State, Georgia Southern's not a rival game is probably not looking at it from the same vantage point as everybody else. But I think Georgia State's playing pretty well right now. And again, this is another – listen, every game is big. If they could win this game on the road, get on I-16 to come back to Atlanta with a W in their back pocket, they would take a 3-game winning streak on the road to Louisiana, and that would be huge.
And they have Coastal Carolina coming up too. So if App State can lose, Georgia State can actually control its own fate. I know that's early. You talked about the running game. Tucker Gregg is averaging 5.6, 5.8 yards a carry. And then you mentioned Jamaius Williams. He averaged 9.6 yards a carry with 2 touchdowns. So they're getting big plays in the running game, which is probably helping the passing game tremendously.
Well, you know where that all starts, and now we're starting to see the benefits of having a very, very experienced offensive line. Jamaius Williams was my guest this week, along with Dan Ellington, on our Panther Insider podcast, which if you follow me on any of the social media channels, we've got it posted there. But again, Jamaius gave a lot of credit. Again, those holes that he and Tucker and Darren are running through, and they're more explosive plays and runs for more yardage than we saw earlier in the season. Listen, it all starts up front with a very experienced offensive line. Starting with Malik Sumter at center, to his right, Pat Bartlett, to his right, Jonathan Bass. On the left side, Shamarius Gilmore, the only 4-time All-Sun Belt Conference selection in Georgia State history. And then to his left, Travis Glover. Those guys are playing a bulk of the snaps. They're doing a fantastic job the last 2 ball games. They actually did a fantastic job if you go back to the first half of the game at Auburn. When we ran for, I think we ran for 276 yards for the entire afternoon at Auburn. So the difference is that Texas State and Louisiana Monroe are not Auburn, and they're not Auburn caliber players in the second half, and that's been a big difference. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, Jamaius is averaging 6.2 yards per carry. Darren is averaging 5.2 yards per carry. And Tucker Gregg is averaging almost 6 per carry. So, again, explosive plays that Coach Elliott mentioned with me today on the pregame show that we recorded. And that is, again, that's been the difference. I mean, the start of the play of the line up front, and now they're seeing, guys that can take advantage of that in the 3 guys that I mentioned in Tucker, Darren, and Jamaius.
You're listening to Dave Cohen right here on ATL Prime Sports. You can follow Dave on Twitter at GA State Voice. That's GA State Voice. Dave, we mentioned the 3-game road trip with TC there. Let's talk about the new look of the Sun Belt Conference right quick, and then tell our listeners how to catch that game on Saturday. But I definitely want to talk to you about the new look Sun Belt. 4 or 6 teams coming in? I can't remember. Tell us about it and your thoughts.
Well, right now it's 2. So far, 2 officially, and that is Southern Miss and Old Dominion. Now, Old Dominion's a former conference foe of ours for the 7 years we were in the Colonial Athletic Association. We made that trip to Newport News, every year. They've got nice facilities up there, really nice arena for basketball, and a nice football stadium as well. But again, we were only in the Colonial 1 year for football. So, we didn't get a chance to really develop any rivalries per se with anybody in that league. But so far, Southern Miss, they'll be in the West. Old Dominion, I assume, will be in the East. The 2 schools that are rumored to be coming in is Marshall and James Madison.
That's right.
So that will certainly make things interesting. Again, we talked a few weeks ago. Well, now it's more than a few weeks ago when these dominoes started with Texas and Oklahoma leaving the Big 12 to come to the Southeastern Conference, that eventually those dominoes would start falling down in the group of 5. And we saw that happen once the American Athletic Conference raided Conference USA for those 6 schools. And then the Sun Belt raided Conference USA again, taking Southern Miss. So, who knows what's going to happen. Conference USA in and of itself is another story with regards to how do they survive having been cherry-picked not once but twice. Certainly, James Madison in recent years has been a perennial top 25 FCS program. I don't know for sure, but I said to somebody, earlier today when we were talking about it, that I see James Madison potentially transferring from the FCS level to the group of 5 FBS level in the Sun Belt. When I say rather easily, I don't mean that it's going to be a piece of cake, but you notice that App State and early on Georgia Southern both did the same thing, and App State didn't miss a beat. They've dominated, at least in football, since they've gotten into the Sun Belt. I'm not saying it. I don't know that James Madison will do the same thing, but they're going to be ready by the time they join, because it may not be until 2023.
Right.
But they're going to be ready. I don't think JMU and certainly not Marshall, if they come in. Marshall will come in and be one of the top teams, at least in football, right away, in my opinion.
That's correct.
Yeah, but I think James Madison will transition to a level that they'll come in and be competitive. That's the point that I'm trying to say.
I agree.
Dave,
as well.
we got about
James
30
Madison.
seconds. I'm sorry, JJ. Dave, we got about 30 seconds. Can you tell us how we can watch the game and listen to you this week?
The radio guys never tell you how you can watch the game, right?
That's right. I do it anyway.
Just kidding.
I got a game on ESPN Plus. I got TV and radio.
Well, you're beat time.
No, I'm
Us radio guys,
No.
we're down here. Those ESPN guys, you guys are up here.
No.
I'm just messing with you. I start ESPN Plus for basketball. Our first basketball's an exhibition against Bruton Parker. We're on radio, and then that next home game we start on our ESPN Plus series. But anyway, Georgia State, Georgia Southern, Saturday night, 6 o'clock, lovely Paulson Stadium in lovely Statesboro, Georgia. And airtime 5:30 on 88.5 FM WRAS, our affiliate in Gainesville, and, of course, via the GSU Athletics mobile app. And aren't we lucky we'll be going on the air as just about everybody's watching the World Series from Truist Park in Atlanta.
That is true. We'll see how that works out. Hopefully the Braves will get a win, and Georgia State will too. So we'll see. Dave, thanks so much for coming on as always. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for your flexibility this week.
Yep, appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week, hopefully about a Georgia State win on the road to Statesboro.
That's right. 3 in a row. Take it easy, Dave.
All right,
Go
you got
Panthers and State, not Southern, Dave.
Exactly, JJ. You got it right. It's hashtag State, not Southern. Exactly.
All right, take it easy.
We'll see y'all.
See ya. Dave Cohen, the voice of the Georgia State Panthers here on ATL Prime Sports. Todd Corder with you. JJ on the other side of the ATL, and our producer Wayne in Memphis, Tennessee. Let's stick with football real quick. We'll go to the Atlanta Falcons. Guys, you know what really stands out for me for the Falcons is defensive coordinator Dan Pease disguising the blitz in pre-snap on the backside and the front side, and using Deion Jones off the corner to do the damage, who was the NFC Player of the Week. That's one thing. And two, the red zone execution. We have complained about this since the cows have come home. Well, now they've come home. They're in the barn, and the Falcons, they're winning games. They're right in this thing at 3-3, JJ.
You're right. You hit the nail on the head. Red zone executions there. Hats off to Dan Pease. He's disguising defenses, coverages as well. A.J. Terrell's playing extremely well on the cornerback, on the outside. And, wow, just an amazing turnaround from week one to where we are right now. I want to mention that red zone offense. I'm talking Arthur Smith, hats off, using the tight end, all three of them, Hurst, Smith, and the newly acquired Kyle Pitts. I tell you, he is getting the ball to not only those three. I told you Olamide Zaccheaus. Russell Gage had a career-long touchdown catch the other week. Everybody's starting to get the ball. And, folks, when everybody gets the ball, Matt Ryan plays at an MVP-type level. And that's what's happening right now. The Falcons are right in the thick of things, and that's where you want to be at 3-3, going into a week when they're really playing a team that's going in the complete opposite direction.
In Carolina.
who started off 3-0 and have now lost 4 straight. So this is a tale of 2 teams going in different directions this weekend.
Well, and keeping Matt Ryan, he's only been sacked 4 times since what's been the low here recently. Since week 4, he's only been sacked 2 times.
Yeah.
So think about that. We used to complain about that too. Now you can't complain about it anymore. Kyle Pitts, the only rookie tight end with back-to-back 100 reception games in the last 50 years. You've got A.J. Terrell, the cornerback, with 50-plus plays and man coverage without allowing a catch. And last and not least, you mentioned it, 3-3, third in the South. They're not going to catch Tampa unless Brady and a bunch of guys get hurt. But they got a 2-game winning streak playing the Jets and the Dolphins. They got Carolina, Wayne, at home Sunday at 1 p.m. I don't want to give away your picking, but you got to be feeling good.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, no doubt about it. Well, guys, let's move on from the Atlanta Falcons over to the Georgia Bulldogs. Speaking of feeling good, JJ's just feeling terrific over there, pumping iron in the air. 6-0 Georgia versus the 4-3 nasty Gators. Georgia's defense has allowed only 36 points in 5 conference games, 46 points in 7 games overall. They don't play a ranked team the rest of the way. But, JJ, this Florida team, they're going to get their A-plus effort like they did against Alabama. I'm wondering if this is going to be closer than the experts think.
It may just be. This, again, is another game of a tale of 2 teams going in different directions. Let's take a look at the statistics. Since last year, in this exact same world's largest outdoor cocktail party meeting, the teams are completely different. Let me look at my notes and make sure I got this correct. All right. It is 11-0 for the Dogs. 11-0. Obviously completely unbeaten. Almost a full season since this game's gone on. Look at the other side. The Gators are 8-6. They're 0-3 versus top 25 opponents. The Dogs are 5-0 versus top 25 opponents. It's going to be a real key factor in this game is how Dan Mullen handles this game. Not only Dan Mullen, defensive coordinator Todd Grantham is really on the hot seat. And if Georgia does what they did a few years ago when they got McElway out of there, this could be one of those games where maybe a defensive coordinator doesn't get to go back to Gainesville after the day. This is a big game for Florida because if Mullen finds a way to lose this game, TC, you know what's going to come after that.
Yeah, we all do. Wayne, you wanted to comment on this game. Go ahead, please.
Well, I'm surprised it didn't end up in our pick 6, but I do want to make this comment regarding this game. No, it's not in there.
Who's the mo that went ahead and did that, left that out? You know
we know what's going to happen, guys. Are any of us going to pick Florida? No.
What's the spread?
14.
You know
Georgia's covering that. That's my pick. We can have a bonus pick 6.
We will. And that'll give me about a few minutes to think about it. You know what? Kirby Smart hasn't announced a starter in this game. Daniels has been out the last 3 games with a lat injury.
Could see 4 quarterbacks.
What? It said 3 is what I have. Anyway, Stetson Bennett. This is
if JT and Stetson play, then you have Anthony Richardson and Emory Jones. You could see 4 total quarterbacks in the game.
Oh, okay. I apologize. So anyway, this is Stetson Bennett's redemption versus Florida. Last year, he came up with a shoulder injury. He wasn't effective versus the Gator. He's like 3 for 16 for 78 yards or 5 for 16 and 70 yards and a pick and an INT. This is his chance if Stetson Bennett gets to play and he plays well. Not only does Georgia move to 8-0, but he gets his revenge. And we'll see with Kirby Smart what he's going to do, and we're gonna find out who he's going to play at quarterback. Go ahead, Wayne.
Well, for the longest time, Georgia has been sitting at home, getting weaker, and the Gators have been down in the swamp, getting stronger. And
you got to explain that.
I'm pretty well. Georgia's played a lot of home games, and I really think that the Gators are going to win this game in Jacksonville.
Man, you should have waited for that for the pick 7, even though it doesn't sound right. But you know what? Fine. You brought it out now. I don't know if Georgia covers the spread. I'll let you know in a few minutes. So anyway, Georgia's won 6 of the past 10. Florida's coming off the loss at LSU. Spoiler alert, says Wayne. I'm glad you said it because now I came up with that and it all fits. All right, let's go ahead and Florida. Oh, speaking real quick, Florida hasn't committed to a quarterback. It'll be Emory Jones or Anthony Richardson, who led the Gators on 4 state touchdown drives against LSU in the second half. So we'll see who they play at quarterback 2. And Mullen, he's not getting into strategy or anything. So we'll find out which quarterback starts for each team at game time. Let's go to the Atlanta Braves, guys. Series is tied 1 game apiece. What stands out to me is the guts and the toughness of a hockey player in Charlie Morton. Gets a line drive off the leg, breaks the leg, throws 16 pitches and strikes out 3 guys, and then says, I'm sorry, I can't go any further with a broken leg. I thought, are you kidding me? I would like to see Charlie Morton on a Tuesday night in the National Hockey League with a high sticking penalty of a guy in the corner. I think he'd be awesome.
You know, both games, game 1 and game 2, were very similar to each other. 6-2 in favor of Atlanta in game 1. Couple infield hits went the Braves' way in game 1. Astros made an error that really kind of got the whole thing going. Flash forward to game 2. The Braves infield that hasn't made errors all season makes a couple throwing errors, couple infield hits. Uriel Gurria runs one out, and bada bing, bada boom. It's a 7-2 game. Very similar games in game 1 and game 2 between the teams. It just goes to show you how evenly matched these teams are. You're going to get production from guys like Eddie Rosario, Soler, all the way up and down this lineup, and same with the Astros. That's what stands out to me this series. I'm telling you, guys, it's going 7. Braves will get it done on the road.
In Houston.
In Houston. They get it done on the road on Houston. They've done it all year. They've been one of the top road teams in baseball. They get it done on the road, and that's what stands out to me the most, is how these games have been very even with each other in terms of flow. Infield hits, shift being overplayed, as we've talked about off air sometimes, and it costs them. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
No way in hell are they losing tomorrow on my birthday with Ian Anderson pitching. No way in bells are they losing. I think they'll win that game. Now, the rest of the series, we're going to find out. They're going to be, with the injury of Morton, now they're either going to throw Kyle Wright or Drew Smiley in game 4. And based on what I saw, they're going to throw Kyle Wright. That's my gut feeling, JJ.
Very well could be. Kyle Wright pitched lights out, came in, got the job done. Also, you look at Dylan Lee, who's had starting performances down in Gwinnett, and he's played well. His strikeout to walk ratio is unbelievable. Maybe one of those two guys, maybe they do a opener with Kyle Wright, let Dylan Lee come in. These two guys are going to make a big deal in this postseason, in this World Series.
Well, I'll tell you what, Wayne, Kyle Wright is well rested. So whatever they're going to do with him, I would love to see him pitch 7 innings. Your thoughts on the first 2 games of the series?
They got to limit those fielding errors, and they'll be fine.
We talked about that last night, JJ and I did off the air in game 2. We were pretty surprised to see that. This has been a Braves infield that hasn't made many errors at all, and they sure do hit the long ball, and I'm missing that. We've seen the outfield have tremendous production in the playoffs. Now Ozzie Albies is starting to come along. I know we've gotten it from the corner at third base with Riley, but I would like to see Dansby launch and start, and Travis Denard is starting to do it too. So, with Dansby, him launching and Freeman launching, and we'll have everybody in the infield launching, and that's what the Braves are going to need.
You're correct. The Braves are going to have to slug their way to a World Series championship.
But they can't do the small ball at the same time. We'll see if they mix that in. And I don't like the overshifting. They need to stop doing that. I don't like that, but that's something that, the analytics in the game and everything. And I'm not a big fan of it. It came to bite them in the butt in game 2. Let's hope it doesn't do it the rest of the way. Wayne, we got 5 minutes left in the show. You take it away with a pick 6, and me and JJ will yak about it.
Well, I think JJ's a little bit better at doing the pick 6, but
All right, go ahead and you do it. We'll switch off every other week.
All right. Well, I did it last week. JJ should do it this week.
Nah, just do it this week.
All right. Well, the first game we got up is college game, number 6 Michigan at number 8 Michigan State, and the spread is 4.5 for Michigan.
JJ, you first.
All right, me, TC, then Wayne. We'll do it in that order. Look, Michigan State hasn't beat a winning team all year. Go look it up. I had to do the math. I had to check it out. Blew my mind. Michigan gets the W. They can run the ball. They can play defense. They're second best defense in the country behind them Georgia Bulldogs over one of my shoulders there. I like Michigan to cover.
Michigan's won the last 2 times in Ann Arbor. The road team has been very successful in this series. I think the script is flipped here. I think Michigan State wins it. I think Michigan State, if they give the quarterback Thorne time, they've got mismatches among their wide receivers. 2 of them are going to play on Sunday against that Michigan secondary. I think that's the difference, but it is 4.5. Dang, nabbit. You know what? I'm going to go Michigan to cover, but State wins.
Yeah, well,
I'm picking Michigan, obviously. I still get it if they get it. Don't cheat me out of that. Wayne,
Michigan in the points. Michigan in the points.
That's what I got.
Yeah, well, I'm taking Michigan as well to take home the precious but ugly Paul Bunyan Trophy.
It is ugly. You know what? The hell with it. Hell to the Vectors. I'm going Michigan. I can't go against them. Damn it. All right, we got all Michigan. I think they'll win the game now. You guys have changed my mind. I'm going Michigan. Next.
All right, next game up is number 10 Ole Miss at number 18 Auburn. And I'm going to go ahead and say right away, I'm picking Auburn.
Oh, that's a given. JJU?
Yeah, it's Auburn's 2.5-point favorites. This game's at Jordan-Hare. Auburn owns this series. Ole Miss only has 10 all-time wins. Auburn runs the ball well. Ole Miss doesn't defend the ball well. War Eagle, they cover.
Nah, hell with you guys. I'm going Ole Miss. They haven't beaten them a while, and Ole Miss still has a shot at that SEC West. If Alabama trips up, I'll take Ole Miss.
All right, third college game is number 20 Penn State at number 5 Ohio State. Ohio is 18.5. That's a pretty big spread.
Sure is. What do you got, Wayne? Go ahead.
Well, I'm taking Ohio State because Penn State's still pretty beat up.
JJ?
Well, let's write down our picks here to make sure we get this all right. We are on the Penn State-Ohio State game.
Yep.
Penn State was overlooking Illinois. They cover. They're not going to win, but they cover. Penn State loses by 18 points. It's an 18.5-point spread. Penn State covers.
I'm waving goodbye right now to Penn State. Bye. Clifford's not healthy. Ohio State covers. Go to the NFL. We got to hurry up.
All right. First game on the NFL is Packers at Cardinals, which is actually happening right now. But I picked Cardinals ahead of time, so I'm sticking with it.
I don't know what the score is, but give me Green Bay. How many points is it?
It's a 6-point spread for Cardinals.
They're a 6.5-point favorite of Green Bay?
No, it's 6 even.
6-point favorite over Green Bay.
Give me Green Bay. Ain't no way Aaron Rodgers losing by more than 6. Cardinals take the loss. Go ahead, JJ.
Yeah, no Devontae Adams, no Lazard, no problem. Aaron Jones gets the ball, puts it in. Packers.
They'll throw it to the water boy if they got to in Green Bay. It don't matter. All right, next game.
Packers in the points.
Yeah. Yep. Panthers at Falcons. Atlanta's 2.5 spread on that, and I'm still taking the Falcons to cover that.
I'm taking the Falcons as well. Look, I told you it's a tale of 2 teams going in completely opposite directions. The best player in the NFL, in my opinion, best running back, in my opinion, Christian McCaffrey's still hurt. I think Atlanta's hot right now. I think Matt Ryan gets him the W.
Do that dirty bird. Do that dirty bird.
Yeah.
They covered.
All right. Last game is the terrible towel Steelers at the Browns. Cleveland's 3.5 favorite on that. I'm still taking the Browns to cover that.
JJ.
Me? I got the Steelers in the points. Look, if Baker's not healthy, it really shows in the Browns offense. If Chubb's not healthy, it even shows more. And they're not completely healthy yet. I'm going Steelers in the points. Browns might win the game, but I'm going Steelers in the points.
No way in hell am I picking against Pittsburgh. My wife is in the next room. No. Pittsburgh will win 3 in a row. The Berg is getting it together. Speaking of getting it together, on ATL Prime Sports, we'll be live at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday on Blog Talk Radio. 1-347-205-9631, blogtalkradio.com. Mark Mancini will join us. Who knows if we'll have a guest or not? We'll let you stew on that until Monday. All right, everybody, till then, chop on. Have a great World Series. We'll talk to you Monday at 11 a.m. I'm out.
Get you one.